Okay, good evening. I call the meeting, the March 17th, 2026 meeting of the West Richland City Council to order at 6:01 p.m. I am filling in for Mayor Brink as he is on travel with the National League of Cities event in Utah representing AWC. Before we get started, I ask Jessica to read the hybrid meeting ground rules and then call the roll.
Tonight's meeting will be held in person with the virtual meeting component. If you are participating virtually, please make sure the name, turn myself down, shown at the bottom of your video view is the name you would like the Mayor Pro Tem to use. You can change this by right-clicking on the three dots in the upper corner of your video view and clicking Rename. Audience members present in the council chambers will be called upon first during public comment periods. Those participating remotely should virtually raise your hand if you wish to speak. To virtually raise your hand, click on Participants and then click on Raise Hand. If you are participating by phone only, press *9 to raise your hand. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. All right. Richard Bloom.
Here.
David Cole.
Here.
David Fetto.
Here.
Kate Moran. Present. Dan Ritchie.
Here.
John Smart.
Here.
Ken Stoker.
Here. May I have a motion to excuse Mayor?
I move to excuse the mayor.
Second. Okay, all those in favor? Say
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the mayor is excused. Now moving on to the agenda, Councilman Cole, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, the agenda is before you. Are there any changes? No. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have agenda. We do not have any presentations this evening. Tonight's consent agenda includes payment of the bills, approval of minutes of the regular meeting March 3rd, the special meeting February 24th, Resolution 1326 authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal agreement with Benton County regarding the 2025-2027 solid waste management and repealing Resolution 3425. Resolution 1426 authorizing the chief of police to sign the interlocal agreement for Special Investigations Unit to investigate officer-involved incidents. A motion to award Keene Road Overlay Project. Motion to authorize the West Richland City Chief of Police to execute the 2026-2027 WASPC WTCSC Traffic Safety Grant. And is there anything from anyone from the audience who wishes to comment on the consent agenda? Okay, is there anyone attending virtually who would like to comment on the consent agenda? If so, please raise your virtual hand. The clerk will then unmute you and state your name and city of residence for the record and provide your comments. Press *9 to raise your hand via telephone. Jessica, do you see anyone?
I do not.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? There's a hand. Oh, it's a mouse. Is a hand?
No,
It's mouse. Gail, it looks like you have a hand up, but no. Move the mouse, Eric. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second? Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconds. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we come to the point of public comment opportunity for citizens. Please come to the podium. For items not on the agenda, if you wish to provide comments, come to the podium, state your name and city of residence. You'll have 3 minutes to provide your comment. Please remember, council will not respond to questions during the comment period, and that this time frame is for comments not relating to items on the agenda, as we have asked for comments about agenda items at the time they are discussed.
Hello, I'm Tex Bender. We live at 786 South 38th Avenue. And I just wanted to come and just make a comment. We got your survey today, and we was kind of going through that. And I want to tell you guys why we came here. 16 years ago, we escaped from the West Side, where I spent almost 50 years of my life over there. And we came here, we chose West Richland because a few things. Number one, it was one of the safest cities in the state. And we knew when we pulled into town that if you were going over 35 miles an hour, there was a speeding ticket, right? We knew that we were safe here and that the crime was in the other cities around us. And we did a lot of research before we picked where to live. And so we chose that here. We chose it for the freedoms that we have here. And even the fireworks, I know a lot of people don't like it. We chose it for that because that's a freedom that happens a couple of times a year. And I think that's an important freedom. But what we're seeing now is a decline in why we came. We're seeing the traffic laws not being upheld like they're supposed to be. We're seeing crime rates going up. Just last month, I had to call the police, and the police responded excellently, by the way, Chief. They were there in minutes, and we caught the guy breaking in the house behind me, and at 2:00 in the morning. And so they do their job there, but we know, and from living on the West Side, that we've down a few officers here, and the officers don't want to come to the places here because the laws are terrible that they're making on the West Side there in Olympia. They're ruining the state. But the reality is this: if we don't do the little laws, the traffic laws, the you didn't pay your tabs, these kind of laws, then crime always just works forward. We watched it in Buffalo, where we lived. We watched it change, and pretty soon we didn't have enough police, and we were having to use our own rule of law to protect ourselves. We had drug dealing going on. We had, pedophiles out in front of the elementary school, 3 doors down, waiting for children. We had, sex predators. We had partying going on in the middle of the night, and no law enforcement. And so we see that degradation happening here because young people take advantage when laws aren't being enforced. And it goes clear back to basic things like on our street there, they put up the little sign that tells you to slow down, and they have a guy on the hill seeing how fast they pass it at 100 miles an hour and more in those things. And it's happening all day long, 40, 50 miles an hour, trucks coming down through there. And we don't mind the traffic because we're from Seattle area, but we mind the speed because someone's going to get killed. And we have 2 autistic people across the street from us that go out and get the mail and that kind of stuff, and they're going to be victims. Or my wife, when she pulls out one morning when they're driving down there. And so those laws need to be upheld. And when we don't uphold those laws, we know just from what we saw in Seattle. I mean, the reality is Seattle is a shithole, and I grew up there. And I ran those streets, and it was a nice place to go. We were at Seattle Center. We didn't have any problems. And now you can't even go there. I visit there every 3 months, the hospital. And it's amazing how dangerous it is there. And so, but I just wanted to reiterate that. My family's been in this state, in this Northwest Territory, since the early 1820s. We're one of the founders of this state. And so I don't want to leave. I want them to leave.
Time is up.
Okay.
You have another opportunity in about 5 minutes.
That's okay. If I can get back up. Thank you for your time.
Right. Is there anyone else in person? No. Anyone attending virtually who would like to provide a comment? If so, raise your virtual hand. The clerk will unmute you, and you will have 3 minutes to provide your comments. Please begin with your name and city of residence of record. Press *9 to raise your hand on the telephone. Jessica, do you see anyone?
I do not.
All right. We're only having one public comment? New business? Oh, I guess. Well, yeah, we do have another one. So we have another public comment. You want to come on up? I'm reading the agenda. My script is a little bit off.
And I just will finish it up by, on that survey, you guys talked about businesses. And this city needs to start bringing businesses here that pick up the tab on the taxes. We need retail businesses that funnel things through, like fast food restaurants, things like that, that we collect money fast. There were some mistakes made in the planning up at Yokes. There shouldn't have been those houses put in the backside of the church. That should have been a little shopping mall, because thousands of people go there. But we're losing millions of dollars to the city of Richland. And that shouldn't be happening. I try to do everything I can here. And sad thing is, you can't do nothing but buy gas and food here. And that's sad, right? We haven't got restaurants. We haven't got anything. And the last thing we need, just out front, we don't need any more Mexican restaurants or, things like that. We need some fast food restaurants that generate lots of money quick, right? I was in the sales business for years, and in the diamond business, actually, and we produced, $30 million in 30 days where I worked and where I ran the advertising budget. And so, it can be done easy, but this group here has to get together and do that. They have to decide that the parks and those things that everybody wants, those aren't necessities. The infrastructure, that's necessities. And that's what you see in every city. When you go over the west side, it's all falling apart, because we bought trails, we've got all these neat things that the kids can go hang out in and commit crimes in, but we haven't got the things we need. Great water, great sewer systems that need to be updated. We haven't got the streets taken care of, and those things have to stop. We don't spend on luxury items until we take care of what we have. And that's how the city council should be responsible for our tax dollars. It's making sure they go on the necessities before any of these other things. Well, our kids live down in Milton Freewater. They put in a great little pool down there, and that place is packed all summer long for a fee. And kids are a place for those kids to go and do stuff. And that might be something to look at, but we need a revenue source other than the property taxes. And we need one bad, because this is getting ridiculous. We're on fixed income, and these babies are going to be $6,000 a month. When we got here, they were $1,700. Or a year, excuse me. And they were $1,700. And that's ridiculous, the way our government is set up in Olympia. It's not about the value of the house. It's about what they want to spend. And that takes from everybody. And that cuts to our spending here. I don't think anybody understands that extra money you have in your pocket is what makes our economy in the United States work and in this state work. The more we have to spend in our pocket, the better things go. The more tax dollars are brought in. The less we have to spend, and the new tax they put in, it's going to hurt us. So we have to insulate ourselves somehow. And we do that by bringing in businesses where people can spend money, and we rank up the stuff fast. Not dojos, not, they just don't bring the money as a restaurant does, or a fast, a Wendy's or one of those kind of places. But I think you guys are doing a pretty good job of what you got to deal with and what your limits are. But I think we can do better. And I want to just challenge you guys to be responsible with our tax dollars and make sure they're spent on the necessities first, luxuries later.
Thank you. Your time's up again.
Thank you for your time.
Just to reiterate, we had no ordinances, no unfinished business, no new business. So staff and council announcements, reports, and comments. Staffs, Mr. Mendenhall.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Appreciate it. Members of the council, Tex, I appreciate your comments tonight. I wanted to just thank you for mentioning the survey. It has been rolling now for just over 2 weeks, and we have 1,173 responses as of 9:03 this morning. So I think we've exceeded any of the prior. Now, these are pre-filtered numbers, so he still has to, our survey guy goes through and gets all of the duplicates out and all of that, right? And those that aren't within the city. But still, that's very promising that we've gotten that many responses thus far. I'm excited to see what the results of those will be, and those will be shared with council next month after we get the results. And So if you know anybody that has yet to fill out that survey, encourage them to do so. It would be great to hear what they have to say so that can help inform council, especially on the important topic of fireworks. So that's been something that's been brought up recently on different occasions. So, yeah, share that out, make sure that others are filling out the survey and getting some responses back to you so that we can make some educated decisions as you have the budget looking at you here in the near future.
Mr. Slade.
Just a quick announcement. So legislative, 2026 legislative sessions ended. A lot of stuff's on the governor's thing. We had a couple of things. Our top three priorities for West Richland was the Veteran Cemetery. You saw the press release that came out. They've selected the Richland site, but kudos to the VA department. They came over and met with us before the announcement and said we made it really tough for them to make this selection. But so just happy that the Tri-Cities area is going to moving forward with a VA cemetery. The other one on our top three priority was funding for Keene Road widening, phase 2, asking for transport, not the state's got its a mess, but we did get our budget proviso through both the House and Senate. And that budget proviso, what it did was the savings on the SR 224 Red Mountain project were on our side, we're under budget. It can be now used for the Keene Road piece. So we're going, dealing with DOT to figure out exactly what that number is. And we'll see what the remaining gap is. But I think we're going to be really close to having that whole corridor from Bombing Range all the way down to Van Giesen funded to widen to 4 lanes. So about $15 million project, and it's got about 8 different funding sources piecemealed together, but I think we're there. And what was the third? It's my Monday, so I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so we did well with our top 3 priorities in Olympia this year, even the way things were going.
Relative to the Veterans Cemetery, we had a purchase sale agreement associated with that and a water rights or water delivery, or we see that come to council reversing those.
So they have some due diligence on the property out there. And so they've asked that we keep it in place until they clear the soil sampling and everything out there with their due diligence. So we've offered to do that. And then the purchase and sale agreement already has language in it that will automatically void it if they select the other site.
Oh, let's see. We'll start with Councilmember Cole.
Okay, well, I have 3 things. First off, I just want to thank the mayor, Mayor Brink, and the planning commission as well, and the other mayors of the area for what I consider a proactive response to the sex offender housing placement here in our cities. And I understand they worked with our local legislators as well. Just appreciate the proactive stance on that, and hopefully we'll get some updates on future developments. Second thing was I noticed looking at in the packet, the information that the CPLs issued, it's up from 24 to 25, and it looks like the 2026 numbers are already about 25% of the 2025 numbers. I don't know if those are reissues or new applications, but I'm encouraged by citizens, excuse me, who want to take responsibility for their own safety by being lawfully armed and properly trained. I have complete confidence in West Richland Police Department with respect to response times. And thank you, Mr. Bender, for talking about that. But as a former law enforcement officer, I also know that when seconds count, the cops are only minutes away. And then the third thing, you just got me warmed up tonight. Thank you. With respect to taxes, I hear a lot of people talking about taxes, and I got my tax statement this year and about hit the roof. So I thought, well, I'm going to look and see who all's responsible for taking my money. The county gets about, out of $5,600, the county gets 393. The fire district takes a little under 1,000. Richland School District, bless their hearts, only get 3,100 of that. And the Port of Kennewick gets about $100, and the city, $558, and of course the police station bond, that's about $90. So $650 out of 5,600 in property taxes. I'm not defending the city, but I would say that our slice of that pie looks to be a lot smaller than the other guys. I think we have a fiduciary responsibility to the people that are paying the bills. I'm one of them. So yeah, whatever those numbers are worth, I just feel good that the city isn't getting the biggest slice.
Moran.
Thank you. So last Thursday, I attended my first Ben Franklin Transit Board of Directors. So I really appreciate being on there, and I wish you would have told me sooner that they had snacks there. It was
It was a surprise.
fantastic. Yeah, little box of charcuterie. It was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that was fun. We do receive every time we're there a snapshot for West Richland. It's long enough. I probably shouldn't read it all, but if anyone's interested, I can give that information to the clerk so that they can provide that information. I will say that Transportation Employee Appreciation Week is this week, so the 16th through the 20th. And other than that, the Benton Franklin Council of Governments meeting is this Friday, and it's hybrid as usual. So if you would like to attend, you can go on their website and find that information out to attend in person or via virtual. Other than that, happy St. Patty's Day.
I'm
Yes.
over smart. I think I turned it off.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Bloom and audience. Yes, Mr. Bender, I just wanted to comment as well. I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate you pointing out the reasons you moved to West Richland. Many of those are the same reason I moved to West Richland, and as I talked to residents of West Richland, just about everybody, not everybody, but just about everybody has the same reasons. They can come here, they can celebrate the 4th of July, New Year's. They're free from kind of the big city atmosphere. Councilmember Cole, I appreciate your rundown on the taxes and the allocation of those. And I just wanted to also comment that both to our audience, the community, and this council, that we should all be reminded that every time we pass an ordinance, almost every time, it costs us money, right? Every new standard that we set, every new law that we, run up the flagpole, one way or another costs us money, and usually in perpetuity. So we just want to keep that in mind, that every time we say, oh, this should be regulated, or that should be regulated, or this standard should be applied, if it's truly new and beyond the current requirements, that costs us money. And so that's where our dollars go by and large in the operation of this city, along with the infrastructure. I also just want to reiterate, and we had a subcommittee meeting before this one today, and yeah, I couldn't agree more. The infrastructure, the reasons the city exists, because we don't each want to have to sink a well in the ground. We don't want to have to treat our own sewer. We have a community police and safety services. We don't want to have to pave our own roads necessarily. I mean, there's these common elements of why a city exists, and that's why that's what we want to focus on and focus first. If we are the recipients of some, if Amazon puts in a new data center, or if they produce a distribution center in our backyard, or something like that, and we are gaining leaps and bounds of wealth and tax dollars, or Wendy's comes in, then we can start considering some of the luxury items that you mentioned, Mr. Bender. So I appreciate those comments and encourage you to encourage your neighbors, friends, and family in the local area to make similar comments, if not to this council, to the councils that they are represented by. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for your comments. One bit of suggestion is buy Amazon, we get the sales tax. And buy out of state, we get the sales tax. So it's kind of interesting, but it's the only way we can get big ticket items and collect the sales tax on it. But other than that, I have nothing else to add. And 27, I was hoping for a new record, but didn't quite get there. Okay, and with that, there's no executive session. The meeting now will conclude at 6:27 or some